Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is obviously you need to create your movie. And if you look at the documentation for Unreal, it recommends that we use an MP4. Okay, and the codec to use is a H.264 format. Okay, so if we go to Premiere, this is the video file that I've created. I actually created this inside Adobe Animate, and it's only a short video clip. Okay, and if we look at the export, so remember it's H.264 codec, that's what they recommend. Okay, so back to Unreal. Next thing, you've got to make sure that you've got a movies folder that you created, which I've already created already. Okay, now this is the folder that you're going to place whatever video clip that you want it to play. So if you right click on the movies folder and go to show in Explorer, it goes inside here and you can see I've already placed my video clip inside there. So that's the first thing that you need to do. So that's inside your project. Right. Okay, so open up the movies folder. And as you can see, I've got a number of elements inside here, and I'll go to them one by one. The first thing that we need is a file media source component. So you create that by, if you right click in the content browser inside the folder, go to media, and then you select the media file media source. So if I open that up, inside the file media source, you need to tell it where that video file is, and obviously it's inside. If I open that up, it's actually inside contents movies folder. So you just select it and press open, and then we save that. That's the first thing that you do. The second thing is we need to create a media player file. So right click and go to media and media player. Open, and then open that up. Okay. Now if we double click on the source, we can see the video playing. And in this example, we want the video to play as soon as the level loads up, and we want it to loop, so we make sure those are ticked. Later on, I'll show you how you can control that. You can stop it, you can start it whenever you want. Okay, so that's done. Save that. Now, when it creates this file, it actually creates a media texture by default. So there's your media texture. Now it doesn't create the material with that in, but I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so I'm just going to delete. Well, I'll leave that on there. So I'll show what we do next. First of all, we need a piece of geometry to place this texture onto. And I'm just going to use, if we go to basic, and I drag in a plane. There's our plane. Now, we want the plane to be the same proportions as the video. So that's widescreen format. So we go to here. if we change the scale, if we go to X is 8, Y is 4.5. Oh, sorry, I'll make sure that's unlocked. So 8 in X, 4.5, and Z is 1. Okay, so that gives us a widescreen format, which is the same dimensions as the video. So click on the lock, and as we scale down X, you can see that it also scales down. Okay. Next thing is we just want to rotate it, and remember we've got snap on, so 90 degrees, and then just position that on this wall. Press S on the keyboard, so we can just have a look where it is. Alt key down and just rotate around, and we can just move it towards the wall, just above the wall there, like so. Okay. Okay, so now you've got a flat plane ready for this video texture, and then drag the texture onto the wall. Okay, as you can see, the texture is playing. It's upside down. Well, that's easy. It's probably because we turn this round, so we can actually flick this round. So let's just rotate it a little bit. There we go. Okay. So now we've got the texture on the wall, and we can save it. Now, I've looked at some documentation. You might see this sort of black frame. The bug's fairly intermittent. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But I've noticed when I've built this, it seems to be not evident inside the build. Okay, so we got the video on there, and we can do a quick test. So we'll just save that, and we'll just click on play. As you can see, the video is playing on the wall, and obviously I'm sitting on my chair at the moment. That's why I look a little bit low down. But as you can see, the lighting is being built there. But you can see there's a little red warning line saying we haven't built, so I'll just build that. Just escape from there. So click on build. I'll take a couple of seconds to build the lighting. We'll test it. Okay, so that's working nicely. You probably notice as well that the video has gone off in the editor screen. I think that's just the fact that it needs to be focused inside the file, but it works perfectly fine inside here. So I'll just take the head off and escape from there. So if this happens, all you need to do is just go back to the video texture, save it. In fact, you go back to the new media player, and if you double click on the source and save, it should go back up again. Okay, so that's adding a video. So there's one last thing that you need to make sure. Here we go to the level blueprint. Okay, you can see here, this is how you make the video play. So make sure that you've got an event begin play node. if you haven't got one on there, so if I just delete that, if you right click, go to add event and select event begin play, and then you need to make sure that you've got a variable for a media player. I'll show you how to do that. So click on create variable, and with it selected, if you go over to the variable type and go down to object type and just type in media player, you can actually see the object type, and you want it to be an object reference. And obviously I've already created one there, I'll just showing you how to do it, so I'll just delete that one. And then drag your media player into here, and so get, and just make sure that is targeted for the media player that you created inside your content browser. If you've just created it for the first time, there'll only be one in there anyway. Okay, so it was a good idea to call this media player the same name as the video clip that you've made. Okay, and then you just connect that up to the target, and then you tell it which movie to play, which is the file media source. And then all that wired up, compile and save, and then that will play in there. Okay, so that concludes creating a video that plays inside your virtual reality room.